This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. So here's the next episode.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the program, everybody.
Got a little rock boogie going.
It's that's our Jet band. It's supposed to be like that band Jet.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. Hey, Gary.
What's going on, dude?
Man, are you... I am completely wiped out.
Because we just got back from a 2-week European festival tour.
Yeah. I'm so flippin' tired. Like brain tired and stuff. And right now my dogs are just barking in the background. I feel like that just adds to the luster of the show. You know? Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we're dads at home doing a podcast. Like, okay, even if the kids aren't there, you got the dogs at home with you.
Welcome to the Rockstar Dad Show, everybody. I'm Jaret. Gary's over there. And we're in the band Bowling for Soup, and we do this show called Rockstar Dad Show. Coming up later is such a cool story. Sam Cox from the band Ragland, but not anymore. He and his wife were in a band, and they just had a baby. It's a boy. No, they just had a baby. And remember that commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob had a baby. It's a boy.
Yeah. Who was it? It was Bob. He had a baby. It's a boy. I had a baby. It's a boy. Okay.
That's actually kind of a funny phenomenon right there that you're bringing up. So, like, used to, commercials were on TV, and a lot of people only had 3 or 4 channels, right? But even if you had cable, you had 25 channels, 30 channels, right? So the commercials were on every channel. Like, everyone knew that commercial, right? Everyone at that time knew that commercial. And now commercials are so specified, like so specific. We're only going to advertise on, this channel and this channel, because who's watching TV? It's all on YouTube and Facebook pages and all that stuff. That's funny that now there's commercials that not everyone would know.
Yeah, there's so many things in life, like what's up and where's the beef, and like things that came from commercials that made their way into like everyday conversation and the way that we talked, and it's just gone. And even Super Bowl commercials now, you see it and that's it. It just doesn't have that longevity of. It's funny. It's like. I wonder if like you can save 15% or more on your car insurance. It's going to be like the last one that we all know,
Probably. It's going to be the Lost of commercials. Lost. They say Lost was like the last water cooler TV show where people at work were like talking about it on the next day at work.
Right. Man, I'll tell you something. I didn't watch that show, but people loved it. Oh
yeah. We were all into that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the thing a few months ago where I was like, I'm going to go back and watch it again. And I made it through about halfway through the first episode. And I was like, I've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never done that. I've never like watched a show and then gone back and watched it again. Now, let me take that back. So Casey and I sometimes will like watch shows and like we'll have like a few bottles of wine and we have to go back and watch a couple episodes. That does happen.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's like, do you remember this? I don't know. This is pretty familiar, but okay, we definitely watched this, but I have no idea who that guy is.
There. Or you have the thing where whether it's a bottle of wine or you fall asleep, we'll fall asleep watching something until like it plays 2 more episodes. And then the next time we go back to watch it, we start on like the next episode and we're like, what the fuck is going on here? Do you know who this, when did she die? What? And so then we figure out, oh my God, we missed 2 episodes and have to go back and get caught up.
So later on in the program, Sam Cox is going to be on here. He was in a band Ragland with his wife, and they had a baby. They adopted a little girl as well. And so he is going to be a parent and just be like her manager and stuff. And now she's just a solo artist. Anyway, you're going to hear all about that here coming up later on in the program. But first, you're stuck with us. And we just got back from Europe and we're both exhausted. I assume you're exhausted. You look great.
Hey, thanks. No, I'm exhausted, but it's a different thing than normal. Like, it's not like the achy, sore jet lag. Like I've actually had good sleep. I'm just still like you said, kind of brain tired and low energy.
Yeah, yes, that's it. Brain tired, low energy. Like I am counting the minutes to where you have to go pick up your son from camp so that I can decide if I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I leave for vacation on Saturday. And I'm going to be totally honest. I really thought, we got home Monday night. I thought, all right, I got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to be productive as fuck, right? I have been somewhat productive, but not as fuck. Because I've done a few things, like I've sent you guys some stuff and I'm doing a few things like for the businesses and things. And then, I got a few things finalized for, the new version of 1985 is out, right? So I'm going to be honest. I didn't know. That is how brain dead I am. We released a song and I had people just going, hey, the new 1985 sounds great. And I'm just like, that's not supposed to be out yet, is it? And I'm like texting with the powers that be. And I'm just like, what? What's happening? They're like, oh yeah, it's out on all streaming services. And if you pre-order, you get a download and this and this and this. I'm just like, oh, okay. Well, missed that one.
The funny one for me, since we've been home, it's not, I haven't had many people say the 1985 thing. I don't know. That's weird. But everywhere I go, someone has been like, hey man, here y'all are playing the fair.
Yeah.
So I guess like the Texas State Fair ads are rolling out, but like at the first one, for someone come up to me and because I'm jet lagged and out of it and whatever, like, so you guys are playing the fair? And I'm like, what the hell is this person talking? Well, I mean, we play fairs quite, we play them sometimes. Yeah. What? And it took me a minute to figure out, oh yeah, we're playing the Texas State Fair.
That's so funny that you said that because Marco, our merch guy, posted like 2 or 3 things and it just had our band's name circled or whatever, and we were obviously playing something, and I just went right by it like, yeah, okay, we're playing something. But yeah, I guess they announced the fair thing because now I've started that. It's Facebook where that hits you, right? Because it's all the local people.
It's everywhere that I've been, because I mean, like I went to get a haircut the other day and the manager of the place was, oh my god, saw y'all are playing the fair, and like the people at my son's baseball practice, oh, we saw you guys are playing the fair, and I don't know, 2 or 3 other places. So it's in person for me that's the big deal.
We're playing the Texas State Fair for the first time since Jack was 18 months old. So it's been about he's 17 and a half. So I'm not that good at math, but let me think about this. So 17 and a half minus a year and a half is, I believe, 15.
Yeah, right about 15 years. I didn't think it was that long, but time starts flying as you get older.
I mean, we had a tour bus.
Yeah.
And, we were on it and we played the fair, I didn't feel like we were headlining though. Because I feel like we played, it was still daylight outside.
Yeah, I think so. It was earlier in the day or afternoon or something.
It wasn't like a big to do. Like, I think this will be like a big to do. Like it's
gonna be like a whole thing.
I have become friendly with Amber Fletcher, who is the Countess of the Corn Dog. I'm not sure if that's her title. I may have just made that up. But she and her brother now run Fletcher's Corn Dogs, which was created by her grandfather back in the day, whatever. So Fletcher's is the official State Fair of Texas corn dog. I don't know if they invented the corn dog. I think maybe, but I feel like if I say that. But you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. They invented the corn dog as far as I'm concerned.
There you go. If you put the caveat as far as I'm concerned, and then people can't come at you.
Yeah, that's it. But so I said to her, she said, I I saw you guys are playing the fair, and this is a big deal. If you're not from Texas and you don't know the Texas State Fair, I mean, like the Fletcher's corn dog is it's like the thing. It's you go to the fair and you have a Fletcher's corn dog. It's what you do.
Sure, maybe more than one.
Maybe more than one. And there's other corn dogs you can get, but it's not the same. And a little unknown fact, Gary. I don't know if you know this, but my father-in-law, who runs Syracuse Sausage here, they make the wieners.
So, yeah, I mean, I did know that. I was guessing that's your tie-in to the Fletcher dynasty.
No, I met her, Instagram. It just because I played there as a country band last year, and I don't know. I think I just started liking posts, and then I commented on something, and then she figured out who I was, and then it's just how Instagram works, Gary. And anyway, I said we need to do something, on stage. Let's do some sort of a Fletcher's Bowling for Soup tie-in. I don't know what it'll be. I'm not gonna fucking try and shove 10 corn dogs in my mouth again.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, I'd eat a corn dog while wearing a t-shirt or something.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, but they do have what is your stance on mustard ketchup corn dog?
Here's the deal. I'm not really a big mustard fan.
Okay. Right.
So I'm team ketchup. I'm also, this is a highly, highly controversial stance. I'm also team ketchup on a hot dog. And that's, some people just aren't on board with that. I don't really like mustard very often.
I mean, a lot of people like ketchup on hot dogs, Gary. They're called children.
Yeah. Well, I guess I just never grew out of that child phase.
Wait a minute. You know what? I don't guess I really picked up on this. What do you eat on a sandwich, in the bus?
So, I have, it depends on what type of sandwich it is. So, there's, a ham sandwich would need mustard, but that's about it. Everything else would be, I don't know, anything, just different sauces.
But you'll put hot sauce, but you don't eat mayonnaise, do you?
Mayonnaise would go on a turkey sandwich.
Okay, I understand where this is going now. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I don't hate mayonnaise like I used to. I don't think it belongs in a hamburger.
Yeah, and also I'm not a globber, I'm not gonna get a big old glob. It's a thin layer.
Yeah, just to moisten the sandwich.
100%. Yeah. It's basically making sure that the cheese or the meat sticks in there and the bread doesn't just go all willy-nilly flying off.
Can I ask you a question? On a sandwich or a burger, does it matter if the cheese is on top or below the meat? I
don't think so. On a burger, maybe, but a sandwich, no.
Yeah, for me, it's got to be on top, or I don't like it.
Yeah.
If the cheese is if the sandwich is upside down, then I guess I could turn it over. I don't know where I got myself on that. On a corn dog, I like mustard and ketchup.
Okay.
I'm a mixer.
Yeah, mixer from way back, huh?
Yeah, just mix that shit up. I like it. I like, and I honestly like for there to be a little puddle of both, and I just sort of go in the middle and make sort of a little swirly little painting in there.
Corn dogs are just freaking good though. On corn dog day at Sonic, where they're 50 cents or something, we'll get one. And then I'm driving. I'm fine without anything. Just a corn dog. It's great.
Right. See, to me, and this is because 9 years in the van and bowling for soup. If I'm driving, my food selection changes. Because whether or not I can use condiments.
Yeah.
Because I don't condiment and drive.
Well, I mean, you're a responsible person.
That's right. Condoms when you're driving is not safe driving. What a ridiculous bit. I mean, good Lord. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk for a little bit. Let's wish each other happy Father's Day. And then coming up later in the show, Sam Cox. Ragland is the name of the artist that he is married to. and used to be in her band. You've got to check this girl's songs out, man. Like, her lyrics are insane. It's just crazy. Anyway, all right, y'all listen to this. We'll be right back.
Now that it's summertime and the kids are home from school, our schedules are all out of whack with summer camps and sports camps and all of the summer activities. Now more than ever, we need a healthy yet convenient way to prepare meals. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit and can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track reaching your goals. One of my favorite things about Factor is the amount of time you save by not having to go to the grocery store, not having to chop and prepare vegetables, not having to cook, and most of all, not having to do many dishes. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy. Factor provides delicious, dietitian-approved, calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per servings. And with options like keto, vegetarian, protein plus, and more, there's something for everybody. This June, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/rockstar50 and use code rockstar50 to get 50% off your first box. That's code rockstar50 at factormeals.com/rockstar50 to get 50% off your first box.
Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. Don't forget, we're on IW Radio every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then again on Tuesday nights, and then Wednesdays, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Or watch.
That's right. We're also on YouTube, and we're on Facebook. You can watch our lovely mugs. I'm having a fantastic hair day wearing my Luke Combs shirt today.
Yeah.
Went and saw Luke Combs in concert. It's pretty good. So this weekend is is it next weekend is Father's Day? This weekend when you're listening to this show.
Yeah, this coming weekend.
What are you going to do? You doing anything exciting?
I am doing something exciting. I am going to be going to Mia's dance recital.
Okay.
And I've got some thoughts on that. First off, what a genius plan by this dance studio, because they know that everybody's like off and home and having a family day. So they're going to have some good attendance, I would imagine.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I got to look at this. I guess I am, I will be home from Florida. I'm going on vacation, and then I'll be home, next. I guess I'm probably not doing anything. I'm probably sitting by the pool.
Yeah.
I
didn't realize you were home yet. I thought you were going to be gone for it.
I thought I was too. But I'm going Saturday to Saturday. But I don't know. I know you don't really TikTok. But speaking of being gone, so when I'm gone, we have a dog sitter, and it varies who it is. Like this time, Wyatt will just be here, and but we had this guy that has watched the dogs the last few years that went to barber school with Casey, and he and his partner have a baby, and so they're a bit more scattered than they used to be, which is fine. I mean, it's not fucking rocket science to watch 3 horses, let them out to go to the bathroom. But anyway, I had told Casey, I was like, hey, if they want to heat the pool or whatever, you can do it for them through the app, but just make sure they know that to put water in the pool and all this anyway. But anyway, they never asked to heat the pool, but because they found the iPad that you can heat the pool with. It's got an app on there, and you can heat the pool. So we had been home a day and a half, and I was going to get the pool ready for Everett and I that afternoon. I thought, you know what, I'll just heat it up a little bit, kind of get in there. Get in like 83 degrees is usually perfect,
Yeah.
And so I turned it on, and I sort of was taken aback a moment because the heater was already on, and the pool had been heated to 102 degrees.
Oh, crap. For how long?
3 days or so. And so I was in a pickle because now I have this at least 114 plus person hot tub just ready to go. But I didn't feel like partying, like I was tired from tour.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, I could invite all of the neighbors that I like over. We just get in here and really enjoy this.
Just a nice, relaxing day at that point.
Just a great, but yeah, anyway. And we're not going to say anything, but I guess Casey mentioned it. Just like, hey, did you try to heat the hot tub? And he goes, yeah, I couldn't figure it out. We're just like, well, he figured it out. He heated the whole shit and shaboodle.
Oh man!
And so there's no telling what my gas bill is going to be.
It's going to be up there. I don't know.
It's going to be up there because just to heat it to like 83 or 84 for a weekend is like $50. So I'm not very good at math, but that seems like it's going to be fucking really expensive.
Yeah, I'm not good at math, but it's going to be more than $50 or $80.
Yeah. I mean, all I can hope is that it was really hot when we were gone. Because if it gets hot, like it'll get up to 90 by itself. So,
right.
We'll see. But it took 2 days to cool it down. Like I ran water in it that's the other thing is that I had to run water. Because, I don't know if you did science in school, but hot water evaporates, Gary.
Huh.
And so the fucking water just disappearing in the pool. And it's like 5 tiles down from where it's supposed to be. And that's how you measure. It's real fucking, it's got to be really precise. You measure by how many tiles you see. And anyway, and so this thing is just evaporating. I've run water in it for 3 hours. And so now my water bill's going to be nuts. Anyway, boy, that was an expensive trip. So I'm going to hide the iPad next time. And if they want to get in there, they got to text us and tell us. But
yeah, can you control that remotely?
Yeah, I can. You can just do it from the app, which is dope because you can, like if you're out somewhere and you're just like, I'm going to heat the hot tub up when we get home. And it takes like, 30, 45 minutes usually for it to get really going. Unless it's wintertime, it'll take a couple of hours. But it's good. But yeah, Father's Day, I think I'm just gonna lay low. I mean, I'm spending the whole week with my kids, and so I'm sure they're gonna be ready to get out of here. And I'm gonna be with my father-in-law too, who I would normally spend time with, and then all of our friends that we would hang with on that day are gonna be with us.
You're doing Father's Day week.
Yeah,
you're doing like the birthday week thing, but for Father's Day, and you're gonna do it. Florida's gonna be awesome.
I think that's the plan. Well, I hope everybody out there has an amazing Father's Day. And tell us about your Father's Day. Why not send us a message? You can message us on Facebook. You can write us an email at rockstardadshow@gmail.com. And coming up, we got Sam Cox on the show.
Yeah.
Y'all hang out. Listen to this. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. Gary, as I told you earlier, I've got a good friend of mine, which is weird. Now I have all these new friends. And you don't know them, Yeah,
it's like you're this whole other like alter ego or something, right?
It's just like you with your realtor community. You have all these guys just show up to play golf with us, and I'm like, well, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with this guy too. You're gonna feel this way about Sam Cox from the band Ragland. Sam, what's up, man?
What's up, dude? I've just been running around town, paying some bills. Answering emails, all that good stuff.
You were a busy guy. You and your wife, Autumn. Well, now Autumn.
Right.
The band Ragland.
Yeah.
Which is spelled in Texas. It's Ragland. I've been saying Ragland. Yeah,
it's okay. Everybody does.
Jaret, we grew up in the days of like phonics, right? And it sounded out, and that screwed us all up for everything.
I know. But I have been I meet mutual friends of ours so much now because they do the same Texas country circuit that I do, and they've been doing it longer, so I do the same one they do, and but I'll just be like, oh yeah, Autumn and Sam from Ragland, and it's Ragland. Anyway, we met because Sam does a show, and what's your show called? I just did it.
It's called the Independent Musician's Guide podcast. It's a podcast where you kind of talk about everything behind the scenes. It's the nerdy business side of running a self-sustained company as a musician, really. Mm-hmm. It's kind of what it all boils
It's funny
down to.
because you've managed to do that. There's so many artists in this Texas country red dirt world that have figured out how to do that, how to make a living making music,
Yeah.
and it's no small feat. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it, but, I met Sam. I was doing a radio tour, and we've talked about this on this show. And if you guys keep up with me on social media, you'll know when I do my radio promo tours, I don't like to sit still. And so I was supposed to be on Sam's podcast, but I was just like, hey, can we just do I'm going to be in your town, Tahlequah, Oklahoma.
How you pronounce it right? There you go.
Well, I only know that because it's the former home office of the David Letterman show.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that's how I know. But anyway, Sam hooked up a song swap with me and a very, very pregnant Autumn Ragland. And man, it was packed, and we had such a fun time.
Great. Yeah, it was a Monday night too, man. That was that was crazy. We had 48 hours notice,
48 hours notice, and literally she could have popped at any moment,
any second. Yeah,
and that's why they named the baby Noah Jaret.
No, Jaret Ragland. Yep, that's it. She's over here just
is she
getting
in there?
for us.
Just asleep? Oh,
I think she's probably in the other room now. Autumn was just like, tell them I'm gonna wrap up this diaper and I'll take them out. Or take her out.
Sam, I love your story. Again, I got to know you guys a little, and we became friends, and now I just think the world of you, and you've taken a really big step over the last couple of weeks, and we'll get into that in a second. But I just want to talk a little bit, about how you and Autumn met. Y'all have been together for quite a while, and this is not your first child, and I'd like to talk about that a little bit because we love families of all types on this show. We love just and especially dads that step into a role and are just like, okay, I'm a dad now, and this is what it's going to happen, and it's something that I think you're going to be able to express. So let's talk a little bit about you and Autumn and how you met and how you guys became a family.
Yeah, dude. Well, we met in Pryor, Oklahoma, and Pryor is the home of born and raised Rocklahoma, Google, JL's barbecue. It's a cool little dot on the map between Dallas, where you're at, and Kansas City. You probably drive through it every once in a while, but we're both in choir, and there's not a lot of music going on in Pryor, so everybody kind of, while we were growing up, was always like, hey, you guys should sing together or do a song together, and so we ended up doing that, and then we got together when we were teenagers, and been together ever since, and started a band 3 years after we were together, and now we're here.
How long ago again? How long have you guys been together?
We've been together for a decade. So you guys are young. You guys are young. Yeah. How old are you? 29.
Goodness 29. Gracious, you guys. Yeah. And now, has it always been Ragland? Has that always been the name of the band?
No, well, so whenever we got together, it was Autumn Ragland, which was the original, whatever she went by, and she was a solo artist for, from the age of 12 until, a few years after we got married. And then I was in a band called Sam Cox Band, because that's what you do in the Texas Red Dirt scene. Is you used to just throw band on the end of everything, Casey Donahue Band, Bart Crow Band, and then after we got married, we were gone a lot. She was doing shows and I was doing shows, and we just decided to put all of our eggs in the same basket. And I started out as the drummer for Autumn Ragland, and then we were just like, man, let's just start a band. Let's recruit a few more guys, start a band, and then we started Ragland in 2016, and then we played under Ragland for 7 years until here recently. We kind of actually in the last couple of weeks kind of switching back to Autumn Ragland, quote unquote.
Okay, so, I didn't realize that was going to be the change. That she's kind of going back to being more of a solo artist. That's part of you leaving the band. I mean, I don't want to get to that yet because I want to talk about you guys have an adopted daughter. And so what are the circumstances of that? Were you guys already married? So introduce us to her a little bit.
Yeah. So her name's Allison Dale Christine Ragland, and she, we ended up adopting her in 2021, December 2021. So like a little bit under a year and a half ago. She came into our house during COVID. And, and we always tell people, actually 3 years ago today, May 2nd, 2020.
Wow.
She came. Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I forgot all about that. And so 3 years ago today, man. She came to our house and we were kind of just sitting around. And, we tell everybody all the time that if we were to ever get a kid, it'd have to be when we're kind of settled down a little bit. But, COVID kind of made everybody do that. And I tell everybody that we're kind of thankful that COVID happened because of that, because we would have never agreed to it. In 2019, we were on the road for 285 days that year. And it was, it's crazy. And so the first time that Autumn came into my office at the other house during COVID, I was in there like playing nerd games online, like hanging out, drinking beer, talking to friends on the phone, just like relax. I mean, what else are we going to do? We're musicians.
That's what we did. Yeah. Of course.
And she's like, hey, would you ever want to foster a little girl? It was Autumn's aunt's friend's daughter. And, hey, she just got put into custody and they're kind of looking for a home for her. And I was like, what? I was like, no, that's not the time for us right now. Like the first time I ever heard of it, Allie, I was like, no. And she's like, well, just think about it. A few days later, they're like, hey, we really need a home for her. And Autumn and I are sitting on the couch watching The Bachelor, drinking, hanging out, and I was like, okay, let's go meet her. Let's just let her stay here. I mean, we're not doing anything. She needs a home. And we literally were doing live streams and selling merch online, what all musicians do during COVID. Went and got her. And from the second we saw her, man, we were just in love. And, we spent about a week with her. And she went back to her other foster home for about 24 hours to get clothes and sign out of school and, all this other stuff, kind of, do the transition. And we about had a meltdown because she was away from us for 24 hours. And she's been home at our house ever since then. Took about 19 months throughout the process of adoption. And Oklahoma DHS is kind of tedious in that way. And it was the best thing that had ever happened to us until Noah. And now they're both equally the best things that have ever happened to us. We adopted Allie, and then 4.5 months later, Autumn got pregnant. So it's just how life goes. Yeah.
During that 18, 19 month process, was she living with you at that time?
Yeah, she was living with us. Yeah. And it was a very hard process too, man, because, as you guys know, like music is a full-time job in itself. And then being a dad is you have to find time for 2 full-time jobs. And the amount of stress that it was putting under us throughout the whole entire thing, because bio family was still involved, and at any second it could go south and she would get, she could possibly gotten taken away or, taken back to the bio family, or, we get new caseworkers, and everyone that would come in would be like, okay, well, let's give, bio parents another try or something. So that was a very scary process. It wasn't about until 17 months into the process that we were in the clear. And then at that, it was just like setting a court date and pulling the trigger pretty much.
It's terrifying having been through that. So,
we have PTSD.
I adopted my son when he was 1.
Oh, cool.
And he had never known another dad, but, through that adoption process, he's my wife's biological son. So, but through that, there's some scary, like, shit. Is like grandparents going to come in here and sue for custody? Is this going to happen? Like even really once they sign over the rights, it's terrifying until you stand in front of that judge and they're like, because you just don't know. You hear the horror stories, man. And,
no, for sure, man. Yeah. And we were just, it was freaky. And, and I grew up in the DHS system in Oklahoma too. So like, I was kind of, I went through the same thing Allie did. And so I kind of knew that it could change, like, the drop of a hat. Wow. And so, when we finally got the court date and we were signing the papers and stuff, I mean, that was, it's truly like that. And then Noah be more like the greatest moments of our life. So it's,
I mean, but how interesting was it out of the blue when Autumn came in and you were playing video games, talking to friends, having a beer?
Totally.
So, but isn't that, and it, but so did it not, it just took a bit for it to just hit you that, wait a minute, well, I came out of that system. I mean, because it's just because you're in survival. I mean, we're musicians, right? The first thing that would, because me and my wife have discussed the same thing, and I'm like, man, I'm gone. Like I'm not. Right. It's hard enough for me to be back here for baseball games and this and this and this. It's just so hard. But again, I think probably. Now it's just kind of one of those meant to be things. It seems like with you,
Yeah, no, and now we couldn't imagine life without her, and it's weird. She looks like Autumn, Allie does, and she has our personality traits, and we love it whenever we're out in public or somebody doesn't know Allie. Yeah. Because we never, ever advertise her as like, this is our adopted daughter or anything like that, And so it's always nice when people are like, she looks just like you. And it's like, that's awesome.
Oh man, I get that so much. It's so because Everett has my personality. Yeah. And he is just, and people just be like, oh man, I bet mom hates that he looks more like you than he does or whatever. And I'll just be like, you have no idea. She fucking hates it, man.
Oh yeah. No, she's got Autumn's attitude and bossiness, but at the same time, Autumn's, grit. And don't take no shit. Can I cuss on this podcast?
Oh, yeah. Of course you can.
Don't take any shit kind of, attitude. And she kind of has my, ADD mixed with just people personality, I guess, So it's kind of, it's funny how they just, you adopt them, but they adopt your traits. So it's just 100%. Kind of like
you're a family. You're a family. I don't guess I realized that it was all so close. I think when I saw the adoption stuff online come through, or maybe I don't remember if it had already happened or I can't remember. Maybe it was just I was going through you guys' posts or whatever, Facebook stalking you guys.
Creeping us or something.
I was creeping on you guys to make sure that you were legit. And I do my due diligence. But anyway, no, I didn't realize it was all so close together. So I mean, she's got to be over the moon coming into a family, and now she's got a baby sister, and that's the perfect age to have a baby sister.
Oh yeah, no, she's awesome, man, and we are. I will say that we are pretty adamant about it online. If it's like a 1 year, 2 year adoption, or anniversary, or from when we got her, whatever, we'll make a big post about it. And so
that's what it was.
It
was an anniversary thing.
Post something today about it because it's been 3 years. It's been crazy, but the whole thing's just pretty beautiful, and it's weird because there's never a good time to just throw a kid in the middle of a music career. There's not. I mean, you guys know it's just you just got to roll with it, and we got a piece of advice recently where it's like from another musician that's very successful, and she had said, the people that end up being successful with kids are the people that just make the kid's life form around yours, at least while you can, instead of just calling it quits. And some people do, and that's okay. That's perfectly acceptable, no shame in that. But it's been an adjustment to having Allie and Noah, and we have a good support system, so we're blessed for sure.
So that leads us into now you have baby at home, you and your wife have a band together, you're touring together, you're playing on stage together, but you're booking the band, you're sort of managing the band, I guess, so to speak. You are tour managing the band, taking care of every, all of that stuff. Yeah. Autumn is a singer-songwriter who writes these insanely beautiful songs. It blew my fucking mind, actually. I
couldn't agree more.
I have made no qualms about that. I have told every single person, I post about it all the time. Like, I just fucking fell in love with her songs and just the way her writing. And so I guess I didn't put it together. By the way, we're talking with Sam Cox, formerly of the band Ragland, because she's going to start being a solo artist. But the post that caught me was it was a very long, well thought out post where you said, look, I've loved being on the stage with my wife and this and this and this, but look, I am busy. I'm managing this band. I'm booking this band. You're booking other bands. You book a theater there where you're at. You have all these other responsibilities, and quite frankly, you need to be a parent. You've got to be the person who you decided to dig your heels in and go, all right, I'm going to be the foundation of the house so that she can go out and do what what she loves and quite frankly what puts food on the table.
Yeah, no, it was a weird transition, and we've been kind of thinking about it behind the scenes ever since, we realistically, I think subconsciously, like a year ago when we found out that Autumn was pregnant with Noah, and kind of trying to figure out how everything was going to work. It's just like you said. I love being on stage, but we did a show Thursday at one of the best venues in Texas, arguably, and I was sitting there running merch with Noah in the stroller, talking to the sound guy, and I was like, man, I wouldn't be happier if I was up there on stage myself. I love watching Autumn, and that's who people come to see. They come to watch her songs and hear her songs and her personality and stuff. And so it's all about Autumn, and I'd rather spotlight be on her, and I just be the guy holding the spotlight, trying to follow her and emulate whatever she's doing. So no, I managed the band, I booked the band. Until recently, we had another TM, but his name is Newt. I'm gonna give him a shout out, and he was our merch guy.
I know Newt.
Yeah,
love Newt. Yeah,
and he's stepping in as bass, and we're just kind of swapping roles. And I'm just gonna be 100% behind the scenes now, and it's easier for me that way, because if I need to stay home with the kiddos, I can. If I need to be completely off stage or backstage or at the hotel, then that's fine too. I'll always be available to answer a call concerning my kids or my wife or my band. That's pretty much like where I need to be. It
takes a lot of pressure off her. It's a very unselfish move by you. It takes such a considerable amount of pressure off of her, because we have, as you said, there's a lot of musicians with kids out there, and a lot of couples that have kids, and people all do it differently. But our friends the Dolly Rots they just drag their kids around all over the world on tour, where they pull them out of school for a month, and that's what they do. But they always have a nanny, and that's how they've chosen to do it. But it's still, there's that time where they're up on stage or whatever, and their kids are somebody else's responsibility. And I think as a dad, that's one thing, but I think as a mom, it's probably something way deeper than that. Oh yeah,
for sure.
So I think just for her to be able to be up there, be herself, and know that everybody in her family is perfectly taken care of, that they're everybody's safe and sound, just really frees her up for artistically on a whole new level. So I just feel like that's just such an unselfish thing for you to do.
Well, I appreciate that. No, and I know it looks like that from the outside, but for me, like, genuinely, it makes me feel at ease too, because not only are we having to book the shows, but we have to book babysitters, and we've been back on the road for a few weeks. Autumn didn't want to take a ton of time, before she got back to work, but and everybody together just wanted to really just keep going, and the only way to do that was just to try to make it work. But this just seems like the easiest way, man. And there came to a few different scenarios where we really had just decided, like, hey, we're going to have to divide and conquer, quote unquote, and figure out how to do this. We ended up having to cancel a show a week and a half ago, which was kind of, I think, our final straw, because we didn't have the right advancement. For anybody that was listening to this, advancements like details for a show before you go. And load in was at 9 a.m. I've never had a 9 a.m. load in my life for a festival, and we were going to have to drive 9 hours through the night with the baby, and I was like, there's just no way. So we had to cancel that and stay home, and we almost flew Autumn and Newt out to go play the show, but luckily it got rained out, and so we didn't have to. And it's just happy to do it, I guess, is what I'm saying. And Autumn is she's the face of everything. And we went back to Autumn Ragland because, Ragland was a band and had me and a few other guys. And one of the other guys actually has taken a different position, and I'm switching positions. So now it's just Autumn and some higher ons, quote unquote. So just easier to go back to Autumn Ragland, kind of a more.
We talked about that. We talked about that on your show, by the way. If you guys want to hear me talking about the difference between Bowling for Soup and Hired Guns, You can go and listen to the musicians. Why can't I remember this? What's the
Independent Musicians Guide podcast. I call it IMG podcast.
I keep wanting to say like guide.
The tongue twister, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, go listen to that. Great conversation. I say a lot of good things about Gary on there.
Ah, awesome. I'm going to go listen after this.
You'll probably go listen after this.
It's only because I edited out the bad ones.
Yeah.
Never. That's the thing, though, is that that I'm really lucky in the country band because I have Rob and Dave and Wyatt from at least that family or whatever. And I love my band so much, but like, there's a comfort to being in a band for 30 years. Like it's unspoken shit. It's like me and Gary have roomed together literally since the day we started, and it's like we have an unspoken thing of like, you just know, like, somebody just left the room and I'm in the shower. When he comes back, he's going to have a bottle of water for me, and it's going to be there, and he's going to make sure that it's a cold one. And, it's fucking great. And then, just everything. Like, you got a toothbrush. I'm going to use your deodorant too. Like, it's just.
I'd imagine with Rob and Dave and Wyatt there, like, you already have some sort of a tone that's set, instead of having to figure out everyone to, you still have to figure out new stuff, but there's just some kind of established routines already there.
Well, what I tell everybody is I don't know how I fucking pulled this off. It's wild. Everybody in the organization except me and Rob is shy and quiet. Every fucking one of them. So the van is silent. Except just me and Rob, who, how Rob is, there's no off switch. We talk literally the entire time. And every single other person, including Dave and Wyatt, just dead silent. They're all, you just never even hear from them. So just.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love how it's just crazy. Even with me and Autumn and me and, other friend like Newt, I've been best friends with Newt for 10 years or whatever. And it's crazy how, like, you play music with somebody and you've driven near 1 million miles with somebody, and it's like, how do we still find shit to talk about? How are we still getting to know each other? And how are we like, you know what I mean? I love that, man. I think it's, you guys have that, and I feel like it's one reason why Bowling for Soup's going on its 30th
30 years next year.
Crazy.
There's also the flip side of that, though, is because you've had all those conversations and you still find everything new to talk about, you can also sit there in the van for 3 hours and not say a word and be perfectly comfortable.
Right. And it's like, this person isn't mad at me. They're just chilling out, or they're, right.
It's honestly, though, it really is the same. And it's so fucking funny because it doesn't matter the band. It's just wherever we are, like it's you go for a while, everybody's talking about, and then you just end up talking about food. Like it's every single time. Like, but that cheesesteak in Atlanta is the best one in the world. I know, you fucking proved it to me. It's and that's Bowling for Soup too. Like, man, Taco Bueno's so much better than all the fast food taco, places.
It's pretty damn good. Do you guys end up talking about beer a lot too, or you guys?
We
just
don't, because
on Miller Lite.
No, because I only drink Miller Lite.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Chris doesn't drink beer anymore.
If we're talking about beer, it's like, what time are we going to start drinking? Where are we going to get ice? We got to get this ice down quick.
Yeah. But Gary and Rob will talk about like whiskey and things like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think our sound guys into that some too. Like they're kind of all that. But beer really doesn't ever come up because, again, I think you like try some beers, don't you, Gary?
Yeah, there's a few, but I mean, I'm with you. It's like I buy Miller Lite, I drink Miller Lite. Yeah. There's a few that I'm like, that's all right. I'll drink.
Rob will kind of drink anything, and he's like, oh my god, a seasonal beer, I must have some. And he's like, you want to try this? No, I don't.
Yeah.
And I know exactly the face I'll make after I fucking drink that.
That's just crazy, yeah. Because and I think it may be a dad thing. I don't know, but man, I went down this IPA rabbit hole recently, and craft beer and stuff, and I'm like slowly turning into one of them guys that's like craft beer. So I'm really not trying to. It's just when you play in thousands of bars, you drink all this beer and stuff, and you just, a few years ago, Autumn got into like the brewery circuit in Texas, and she was playing a bunch of acoustic gigs, and I'd sit there and run sound and merch and just try different beers, and now I'm there, so I'm trying to get out of it, man.
I completely understand that. I mean, I'm not there with beer. Like Jared said, we drink Miller Lite, but I get that with like wine or bourbon. Like I've gotten into that.
Oh,
So
really?
both of those, you like figure out different nuanced flavors and this and that. So I get the beer thing.
Yeah. Autumn's just now getting me into wine.
Wine is, here's the thing about wine. And I don't fucking care. Y'all can, whatever. It's all great. As you know, like all red wine is it's fine. And yeah, I mean, you know, like an $80 bottle of wine is, it tastes good or whatever, but the black box is fucking perfect, man. It just tastes great. And like I don't need anything better than that, you know?
Most of the time I've seen you drinking wine, it's after you've been drinking a shit ton of beer, so you probably don't need anything expensive. You're drinking out of a red Solo cup also. So
this is such a fucking great story for me to tell right now on this particular show. But so as you guys, Sam, you may not know this, but my favorite singer in the world is Sebastian Bach from the band Skid Row.
Didn't know that.
Okay, so we've met many years ago, but in the last year and a half or so, like we've become like we will chat every once in a while. And so I did a post about beer or something, and I think I might have said something about my weight or something, but anyway, so then my favorite singer of all time, his comment on my post was, "Bro, you've got to switch from beer to wine. It's time." Right? And so then the other day I posted something and it's like my face on Burt Reynolds' naked body or whatever. And he put, "I can see that you made the switch to wine," or whatever. Right. So like he's implying that if I switch to wine, I'm going to lose weight. I don't think he quite understands how much fucking wine I can drink. You know? Like,
I like the idea of just the statement, like, you got to switch from beer to wine. It's time. It's like that time happens about every night on tour.
100%. Yeah. He just like, "Bro, it's time." You know?
There's that time every day.
100%.
For me and Autumn. Actually, right now, I'm drinking out of a Whataburger cup. But inside this Yeti is Shiner. And
all right, go.
Yeah, Shiner just
fuck yeah! It's 5 o'clock in the UK right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Tuesdays are our chill day. We only do podcasts and stuff on Tuesdays and stuff, so it's our day to. I'm not really typically on the phone too much, but yeah, Autumn, give her about 3 more hours, and we're cracking out the wine. So
how does she does she pump so she can drink, or is she not doing the breastfeeding thing?
Man, she went complete formula.
Yeah, that's fine. We did that on the second kid because our first kid couldn't lock, and it fucking almost drove my ex-wife into postpartum depression. Yep. And she was like, "I can't do this again. I can't do it." Kids are perfectly healthy.
Yeah, and you know what? And this is a whole nother subject, but the amount of people that want to make you feel guilty for not trying to breastfeed more, and it's like, you don't understand. Like, for one, it's hard. You know, I haven't ever had to do it, but I watched it, and the time you have to be committed, dude. You have to be like committed to try to do that. And so anyway, we ended up just going straight formula, and baby's still kicking, so we're just gonna stick with formula. Yeah.
And here, you know what the greatest thing is? People can mind their own fucking business.
Yeah,
and fucking feed their kid whatever the fuck they want. You know, it's not like she drank when she was pregnant. It's not, you know what I mean? Like she only smoked like a pack of cigarettes a day, I think, right? I mean, I'm kidding.
The people that are going to tell you, "Oh, you should be doing that. It's so healthy." Yes, of course, kid, you can have another ho-ho, you know? Like,
right.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
It's so true, right?
Yeah, I saw something. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off, Jared.
No, go.
I was saying, I saw something on Twitter the other day where they were saying, like, somebody in big letters was like, "Stop scaring new parents. Stop scaring new parents." Whether it's like, you know, because you're like, "Oh, just wait until they turn this age and then this is going to happen," or you know, "You should really do this with your kid, or you should do that," or you know, people that just all the advice wants to come in, but you know, nobody wants to like volunteer to watch the kid. So
it's the fucking worst. Like I can't stand. Like that's one of the things where like I've never tried to do that with any of my friends. Like, I just feel like, of course, you know what? I'm a positive person. I don't think I put much of any negative energy into the world. But so I'm positive, but like that whole fucking, just you. I mean, the one
Yeah,
thing
it's
that
annoying.
I've ever said, Gary, that is negative, and I don't even think this is negative, is like, look, you have a baby, that's fine, but 2 is 3 and 3 is 5, and
That's fair.
that's
Yeah.
it. It just basically makes sure that they know, like, man, 2 is a fucking lot of work, man.
Yeah.
You know, and
People love scaring people, though, and it doesn't matter if it's, the talking to the pregnant wife or the family about having a baby and life change. It doesn't matter if it's buying a house, buying a car, or whatever. People just love to, if it's getting married, right? People just, whenever, instead of going, oh, that's awesome, they'll like, let me tell you this nightmare story.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
I know.
No. Yeah. I hate that, man. And it's that way in the music industry too. They're like, oh, well, wait till you guys play this one place or play that
I
place,
know.
and I'm
I
just
know.
like, why are you trying to? People just like to rain on people's parade, and I try to.
It's
Like,
and then they
cut that
prepare you
out.
for that. It's like think back to school, right?
Mhm.
There'd be like the teacher that had like the bad rep. It'd be like, oh boy, I hope you don't get Miss Bennett. If you get Miss Bennett, you're fucked.
Was she real? Miss Bennett's real?
Yeah.
Or did you make that up?
But I got Miss Bennett. It was fine. She thought I was hilarious.
Yeah.
And
The person,
we had to-
the person that's warning you about Miss Bennett may just be an asshole, and Miss
exactly.
Bennett didn't like him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we had a fine time. It was
Yeah.
great.
Those are the people that also said that none of their teachers liked him. It's like,
Right.
who's a common denominator? And
Yeah,
those are also the people
100%.
where they're like, wait till your kid's 1, wait till your kid's 2, wait till your kid's
Yeah.
3, 4. And it's like, maybe you should just change up your parenting style and be a little
Well,
bit
that's
easier.
true. I think Gary and I do agree on this one piece of parenting advice, though. If people start to talk about the terrible 2s,
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
okay,
I've seen it.
it's
I
not
haven't
the
had it
2s,
yet.
buddy.
Yeah.
It's not the 2s. It's the 3s.
Really?
And yes, because that's the fucking hardest year. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just telling you, because they can reason and they start to just be like,
They start to have an opinion
Yeah.
about,
yeah, and like it's not enough to just be like, hey, we're going here. Like now they have they're like, and there'll be like a reason why they don't want to do this, and it's a different kind of fit, because they also figure out. I never had kids that like threw fits in stores or anything like that, but like kids figure out sort of like what makes you uncomfortable and like when to be a dick, And
Yeah.
then
They figure out
just-
how to get what they want, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's but yeah, it's terrible. The 2s actually I've found to be fine.
Yeah.
It's
We got
when they-
Allie when Allie was 4. And it's always weird, like saying we got her, like we went and like, she came,
Right.
she found us when she was 4.
Right, exactly.
And everything was why, especially coming into like a musician's lifestyle. Because when we started playing shows, like later that year, she'd be with us at soundcheck or on the road. We'd take her to, if it was a festival or something, and we'd be like, okay, well, we're gonna go over here for a little bit, stay with grandma. And she's like, why? Everything was just a why, And
Yeah.
so we never got like the opinion. I mean, we get opinions now, dude. I'll freaking tell you what. But we got her when she was 4, and it was just like you could just tell
Yeah.
she was questioning everything.
Well, yeah, she's been
Everything
through a
you
lot
say.
too. She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
She's been through a whole bunch. I mean, how is she adjusting? So we get back to, she's been with you guys a few years now.
Yeah, she's good,
And,
man.
Yeah.
She
Awesome, man.
She's so funny, and we touched on this the other day on the IMG podcast, but she's not impressed with anything that we do. Anything.
Yeah.
The,
Okay. Exactly.
the only cool thing that she's ever thought, and I was telling Jared about this the other day, the only cool thing was whenever Autumn and Jaret did that song swap the other day. I say the other day, it was like January.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing the Phineas and Ferb theme song, and at the end, Autumn did the whole, Candace like, Mom, please Ferb, whatever. And
Yeah.
she was doing all the in between Candace parts. And I videoed it. Allie thought that was the coolest fucking thing she had ever seen in her life, ever, because she watches that show all the time, to the point where we started it over because she, watched all the way to the very end, and she just realized like, oh, that's the guy with the voice, that's him, and she thought that was the coolest thing. We'll go out and we'll open for whoever, and there's this one specific show we played in Sherman, Texas, and we, it wasn't our crowd, it was the headliners obviously, but there was like 3,000 people. And we looked side stage, and she's like playing with Barbies. She doesn't give a shit. Like we're
Yeah.
that, we're out there, playing the biggest show we'd ever played. She's like playing with Barbies, and like she's like, "Yo, when are we gonna leave?" Like 15 minutes after we get off stage. I'm like,
Yeah.
did you not just see us up there like doing like you're like anybody else would be? I don't know. I'd say
it's
like
hit or miss, man. It's hit or miss.
it's
with
crazy.
kids.
Are y'all's kids
It's
like that too? Are
well,
they just not impressed?
Gary's aren't. Gary's daughter stands side stage and sings every fucking word of every song and
That's
doesn't
badass.
stop jumping.
That's cool. Yeah.
And his son doesn't anymore, but used
Now,
to play.
for like a 3 or 4 year period. Anytime we played shows around here, my son would come and like stand next to me, and he'd like play cymbals for me, and he just was into it. He loved it.
Awesome.
But he's kind of worked his way into he's a 12 and a half year old now, so he doesn't want any attention on him.
Yeah. Getting to that shy
but
age or that.
but he was so into
He's got to be
like,
cooler than anything. So
Yeah.
We'd be walking up to the stage and he'd go, Jaret, hey, because we don't use a set list, right? So he'd go, Jaret, what's the first song tonight? And then we'd leave the stage and he'd go, hey, why didn't we do Punk Rock 101 in the middle of Last Rock Show today? We normally do that.
yeah.
And, well, we only played 30 minutes today, so we had to, but anyway, it was just so funny because he just like he was a big part of,
Yeah.
Sounds
Sounds like a tour manager in the making, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's detail oriented.
Sam Cox, who, Autumn Ragland y'all got to check her out. So go get the last Ragland album. It's spelled Ragland.
Yep.
And
Ragland.
you got to listen to this shit, man. It's so good. And, it's funny because I should have put all this together because the last like week she's been putting out new photos and it's just her and it's
Solo
like,
stuff, yeah.
and they're like really well done photos. And so
Yeah.
I should have been like, okay, what's happening here?
We've been transitioning everything. Like it's been kind of today we're sitting down and creating a whole new logo, but we've had to pretty much contact I think I have like 18 shows in the books for the rest of the year as of now. And everything's like, we've had to contact everybody and say, hey, if you don't want to change the bill, that's fine. But we're going forth as Autumn Ragland and changing everything from bands in town to Spotify has been kind of tedious, trying to get that changed. But
right
now we're going through transitions, man, growing pains. But
yeah, changing the name on some of this stuff, like if you're verified on the socials, like it's a pain in the ass.
Can imagine.
But you guys will get there though. And so the band is Autumn Ragland. Ragland, there's still stuff out there. Sam,
you still find it, yeah.
You are truly a rock star dad, and I'm proud to call you friend. And
Thanks, man.
Thanks for doing this, man, and talking about your journey as a dad so far.
Yeah, man, for sure. And good to meet you, Gary, man.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Awesome to hear your story and get to know you a little bit.
Yeah,
we
let's hang
didn't
out
get to
sometime
talk
soon.
about. We didn't get to talk about Noah very much, but we'll cover that when you come back. And yes, please let's hang out. If we're ever around, you and the lady get a babysitter and come out for a date night and
Let's do it, man.
drink Miller Lite with Bowling for Soup.
Hell yeah, let's do it, guys.
Thank y'all for listening to the Rockstar Dad Show. Do not forget. Hey Sam, hang out for just 1 second.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the
I'm glad you
Rockstar
said
Dad
that.
Show. Thanks for listening to the Rockstar Dad Show. Do not forget to check out our brother podcast, Dadcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And Gary, I will see you later. And the rest of y'all be good.
Later.
This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. Until the next episode.